What's up? What's up, y'all? What's going on, everybody? How you guys doing? Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. I hope everybody had a great weekend. I have been in them streets all weekend, child. I have had me a good weekend. I have. What's up, Block Queen? What's up, Lemon Kush? Let me share this out and we're going to get this party started. I came on early. I know we're supposed to be going on at 4, but I did come on early because I got to get back out in them streets. I got something to do this afternoon. So but I didn't want to cancel the live. So I said, well, let me go on a little bit earlier, and then we could go ahead and get it popping, and we could talk about the things that we want to talk about, and then I will head out. So I just walked in the door about 30 minutes ago, and I gotta go back out. So, so I know that people will be slow coming in. Now, Miss Honey is gonna come through. Peace Love is not going to be a part of the panel. Unfortunately, she is not able to be a part of the panel. We're going to catch up with her on something else down the road. And Geechee Girl has some things going on that is precluding her from joining us. So, like I said at the beginning, you guys, these are the people who, they said they'd be able to do it. And unfortunately, life happens. Life happens. So, it is what it is. Life happens and we just deal with it. But hopefully we'll be able to collab on some things down the road because, they're my girls. El Michelle, I'm not sure. I haven't heard from El Michelle today, but if she can come through, she will. She's got the link. But y'all know I do this by myself all the time, so we're going to keep rolling. We're going to rolling. And if y'all want to be here, y'all are going to be here. And if y'all don't, I understand that too, honey. That's why I didn't do the watch party last night either, because again, I was out in them streets, honey. By the time I got home, it was already after 8, and I was tired. I was tired. So I did my reviews, so I make sure I got those out, but I was tired. You said Big Jamie's starting to rub you the wrong way. I don't like his attitude. We'll get there. We'll get there, La Queen. I think I give, and I know, let me say this. I know that I am partial and biased to Jamie and Urena for a lot of reasons. I'm gonna say a lot of reasons, a couple of reasons. But when it comes to Big Jamie, honestly, I guess because he just reminds me so much of the people I grew up with. It's I understand. But he just reminds me so much of every dude I grew up with. Like but anyway, let's get into it. So we start this episode off. They are still down to Ocean Prime talking about, trying to get Ashley and Winter on the same page. Now, this is what I'm going to say. Last week actually irritated me. But upon further inspection and in hindsight, honestly, Winter, I'm going to need you to chill out because after seeing this episode, I feel like Winter just wants a problem. It says my chat ended an hour ago. What? Hold on. Hold on, y'all. Let me send her the link again. Miss Honey is having some connection problems. What's up, Xavier? Don't get me wrong. They're my favorite couple. And listen, and I get it because he sort of irritated me a little bit too last night. But I have mixed feelings about the situation. But we'll get there. Urena and Jamie's DC accent was coming through strong. It's always strong. Like, it is always strong. But I think it gets stronger when they're talking to each other and they're talking with their family in a comfortable setting, which is what we saw a lot of this episode with them talking to each other and talking to the family. But it's always strong. Like, it is always strong. Hold on, y'all. Let me send Miss Honey this link real quick. I don't know if I sent her the wrong link or what, but let me send it so she can get it. And hopefully she comes up. Because, Miss Honey gives a different perspective on things. Hold on. Okay. Especially when she was saying door. Agree, winner is irritating. In my opinion, winner is trying to have a moment. Oh, there go my boo. Trying to have a moment of TV and it ain't working. Let me know when you're ready. You ready? You set up? You good? All right. Hey, my boo. Or let me do my Monique. Hey, my sweetheart.
Oh hey, no, you're better than that.
You sound better than that. You sound better than that. I'm fine with how Ashley treats Miss Winter because I believe that woman is a lie and can't be trusted. Well, so we just got started, Miss Honey. We just got started. What's that lip you putting on? What you got?
Oh,
Girl?
this is an old beauty supply favorite of mine.
Nothing wrong with the beauty supply favorite.
Mm-hmm. It's a lip gloss. I get from the $1.29 section, but I really enjoy it. And
well, you know what I'm rocking with. You know I'm rocking with my Juvia.
Oh, no wonder it's so vivid. I don't get the pigmentation.
I love her. I love her because I love the colors. The I don't know the technical term, but the colors. So I love the colors.
Pigment. Yeah, it's
the pigment. That's the word I'm looking for. Yeah,
and it doesn't matter what it is. It could be a palette, highlighter.
Yeah, their palette, their lip. Yeah, and I like their foundation. I need to get some new foundation, but when I was wearing their foundation, I really liked it.
Yeah, I like it a lot too.
I switched up and got the vegan last time, which I liked. I like the vegan, but I really like that Juvia's place. So.
Yeah, that concealer. You can't take my concealer.
I've never had that. Okay, I'm gonna have to get that concealer. I've never had that
concealer. It's perfect, especially if you got dark areas.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna have to check it out. I finally found my makeup bag, child. So now I gotta go through it and see what I need to throw away because I ain't used it since November. So now I gotta go through and see what I got to throw away, child.
Well, at least you throw it away, girl.
Well, I'm about to get back on my makeup. Even though I don't know why I wait till summer to decide to start wearing makeup, but whatever.
I don't throw nothing away.
Huh?
I don't throw nothing away.
Child. Well, we're gonna see. We're gonna see what it's looking like. So we're still on the first scene. We just started. We're still on the first scene where we're talking
the dinner
about
recap.
Huh?
Oh, the dinner ending.
Yeah, they still down to the Ocean Prime, child. And again, I just felt like what I was saying was that last week I felt like I gave Ashley the blues, but in hindsight and upon further inspection, I don't know how much of that was Ashley and how much of that was Winter.
That's all I'm saying.
I look at Ashley and I feel like because what I can appreciate is what Ashley said she kind of ended it with, I will apologize if you feel like, I was kind of coming for you because you're still in that moment and you're still processing through your divorce, but I won't apologize for having an opinion. And I can appreciate that.
Yeah. I don't think there's anything wrong with her opinion. I think it was the energy. Like she was very, very invested in debunking everything that Winter said, and I just didn't think it needed to go that far. I mean, you're coming across like you this has something to do with you personally,
like you and Kevin are friends or something. Like that man or something.
I mean, the season ain't over, but
yeah, But that's how it's coming. But you're right. That's how it's coming across. And then we got into this whole infidelity thing. Now and you watch enough reality shows to understand that was editing. Like, because it really looked like they went from that to... So let me tell you, remember when I was talking about, that my husband, me and my husband, I feel like there was a bridge that got us there. We just didn't get the bridge. Because it seemed like out of nowhere, they just started talking about infidelity.
I think that's going to be my challenge with this show. Because you can only give your opinion on what you see, right? Fact. At the same time, if it's edited in this way, then you could possibly be dragging people or, misjudging them based on what you saw. And that wasn't even context. That wasn't even in context.
Right.
Because
I feel like Urena, I feel like what Urena was trying to tell us was y'all keep wanting to put us on this pedestal because we've been married the longest, like we have all the answers. Because we remember how they was trying to browbeat them into doing a Q&A at their party, and which I think what she's just trying to get them to understand is, listen, this ain't easy, and it's not perfect, and we done been through the trenches. We just on the other side. We don't know how to tell y'all how to get there though, because what looks good for us or what worked for us, it may not look good or work for y'all. And I feel like that's where she was going with that. And I think the infidelity part was the example. Like, listen, because we done had our challenges, da 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 da. Right. And I feel like Ashley sort of doubled down on it to say, yeah, because me and you, we've talked about that. And yeah, Quick and I, we've had
that was odd. Now I will say this: you are as optimistic as a human being can be. If anybody is fair and balanced and unbiased, it is you. As long as it's not about whiskey, yes, you. As long as it's not about whiskey or whoopee, you are completely, you're very optimistic.
Don't say nothing bad about whoopee. Don't you do it.
So I can buy your point of view. I think for me, she knows that she has to be counted in. You know what I'm saying? The ropes are going. This season, we're on episode 4. She had to jump in some type of way.
Yeah.
And it was eloquently done. If it did go the way you're saying, it was eloquently done. But at the same time, you're doing too much too fast, ma'am. You're telling too much too fast. No. That's what her husband I don't understand. Ashley saying, because you and I talked about this, but in the same breath saying that they're not friends. They're not there yet. So I
did pick up on that because, again, I feel like, and again, this is me psychoanalyzing and going too deep. I feel like Ashley is one of those women that has probably been scorned or hurt by women, and so she just don't really rock with them like that.
Yeah.
And again, that goes beyond the show. That's outside of the scope of the show. I just think that's who she is as a person. I feel like if we had a conversation with Ashley, we interviewed her and asked her, like, did you have issues with girls growing up? Did you have a problem? Did you fight a lot? I bet you there's something there because she just seems like
defensive.
Yeah, because for you to say that, because for you to say you've talked to this woman about your marriage and possible infidelity in your marriage, that is not something you have a casual conversation with somebody about. That is something that you tell somebody that you trust, or you at least trust that they're not going to repeat your business.
Right. Yeah. You're going to give it to somebody who ain't going to give it to somebody else. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Yeah. So I feel like that was that defense of her saying, hold up, I don't want you to think you in, because you ain't in yet.
Right.
But you kind of are in.
I mean, they're going to have some type of relationship, some type of rapport at least. So I don't think there was anything wrong with saying the word friend, but I guess to your point, if she's had issues before, because you can be a particular type of friend. Like you might be my surface friend. You might be my hangout friend. Yeah. You might be the friend I drink with. Then I got friends that I just have coffee and tea with. You know what I'm saying? So you might be a particular kind of friend. I think that's okay too.
I have had some of the best friends at work. We have told each other some deepest, darkest secrets. We have shared some laughs, some cries, some hugs. But when I left that job, whether I intended it to happen or not, when we didn't have that day-to-day forced interaction, it
Guilty.
You know, but then I've had some people who I literally, this weekend has been a crazy weekend for me. I literally have seen 2 people this weekend. One I have not seen since before the pandemic, and one I've only seen once since the pandemic. And they those are my aces. You know what I'm saying? Like those are I would drop everything and drive to where they live if they call me in the middle of the night type friendship, you know?
Right.
So you're right. It's levels to it.
Yeah.
It's levels to it. So I do feel like Winter, because I don't know if you peeped it, the face Winter was making while they were both talking about their personal situation and the infidelity and what they considered to be infidelity and what they felt like was okay. And she was making faces. And Winter comes off as one of those people that in this scene, not in general, but in this scene, it came off as, I'm miserable and I want y'all to be miserable too. And I'm trying to show y'all that y'all not as happy as y'all think y'all are. Because why are you making these faces?
I said that in my review. I already have a distrust for her because I don't fully believe this whole he was a scammer and he scammed me and I had no idea. Like I'm not fully believing that just yet. I have trust issues with Winter, and then the way she conducts herself in the interviews, in the what do you call that, confessional?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and she was like, I was like, what is she saying to? I didn't catch it.
Right.
I was like, what is she? I don't get it.
Exactly.
No, I didn't like when she was sitting at the table with Arena, and Arena was just trying to tell her. She was like, He said what? Right. I was like, that is not how you do yourself.
What's up, boo? I say the same thing, and my thing was either A, you know something and you sitting on it, or B,
you acting like you know something and you sitting on it.
You can't believe that they really are as happy as they say they are because it didn't work out for you. I think here's the thing:
she feels
your husband did a doozy.
Yeah,
you know. Yeah, I feel the same way. I feel like the whole Kevin situation. Now, don't get me wrong. I ain't saying Kevin innocent because Lord knows.
Me either.
But to me, she is way too vested in turning everybody against him. She's way too vested in making everybody feel like believe her version of events. And I think that's what Ashley was. And again, I agree. She was a little, I don't like to use, okay, we don't like aggressive. She was a little forceful in trying to make that point. But her point, in my opinion, was still valid. What you won't do is justify and put everything on him.
Right.
I don't care that y'all were being abstinent. Because see, the more you talk, the more you put your foot in your mouth. Because it went from, well, I never went to his house and he lived in the basement apartment at his parents' house to, and he didn't even have a car. Oh, you keep talking. You keep talking. Because you're trying to explain.
How did y'all go out? You drove?
Exactly. Because you're trying to explain why you didn't know this, and this, but you keep adding to it. You keep adding to the pile because, and let me say this, and by no stretch of imagination am I defending Kevin, because once again, like I said, I don't know this man. But what I will say is two things. I mean, one thing, but two things. And living in this area, and I can't speak for nowhere else. I know DC. Legit. I mean, I'm doing it here at my house. Legit. People have full apartments in their basements. And they rent them out for thousands of dollars. So I don't know what this place looks like where Kevin is living, but let's not automatically assume that it is some hole in the wall house, hole in the wall apartment basement. Like legit, there are apartments. I think I told y'all this before. My stylist, the lady who does my hair, the basement when the pandemic hit, she was doing hair out of her basement, right? Her basement, and I'd been to her home a couple of times for parties and stuff like that. It is a full-on apartment. It's got a full kitchen. It's got a bedroom. It's got a full bath. It has a living room. It's got a walk-in closet. It's got a separate entrance. When her daughter actually lived in the basement, and she was like, child, I would go months. I mean, she was exaggerating, but she was like, I wouldn't. She'd be down there doing her thing. And now that nobody's living in the basement, she said somebody could be living there and I'd never know. I don't go down there.
Yeah.
And so let's not make it seem like the man is living in a little hole in the wall. I don't know because I didn't see it. But again, I say the more you talk, the more I'm questioning.
Yeah. I mean, by itself, I don't think it's alarming because, I mean, a lot of people practice compound living here. They have several pieces of property on their compound. The properties can hold multiple individuals. That's how they bring their families over, and they work until they buy their own homes and build their own compounds. So it's perfectly acceptable. It's perfectly acceptable by itself. But if you put it all together, then it looks like you got a piece of man.
Yeah. I agree. I agree.
Basement and dusted him off, child. It was like, you'll do.
Exactly. And again, I'm not saying Kevin could be all the things she say he is, but I just think she's too vested in trying to convince us that he's all those things. I think
the mistake she's made is so busy sounding the alarm on him that she doesn't realize that the arrows are also pointing at her. It's not like he came in and hypnotized you, girl. You're saying that you're completely aware that your relationship Like that means a lot. That means you're supposed to be a good listener, a good mediator. You know, it's crazy.
Exactly.
But when we get to that lunch she had with Arena,
We'll get there.
I'm gonna drag her real proper light. So let's.
Okay, well, let's move on. So, Ashley, now listen, I was loving Ashley in this moment. Ashley rolled up in Quick's manager's office to get some things straight. She let some things be known about what needed to happen. And she said, listen, I know that he provides a good life for us, and I appreciate it. But what I also know is I am no longer willing to let him risk his life and his health to do that. So we got to find a happy medium. And if y'all not going to do it on your own, if I can't trust these two grown ass men to do it on their own, then I'm going to have to run up in here.
That manager was like, what?
Yeah, that manager was like, whoa. Look, she came in there with her laptop and everything. She wasn't playing. And then even Quick talking about something, I'm feeling ambushed. You should. Sir, you came home to your wife and said, I have 15 events scheduled over a 3-day period, and she wasn't supposed to feel no kind of way about that. And then
I would have instantly gotten worried.
But then when you find out about the car accidents and him falling asleep on the way, are you serious?
That's very, very serious, because there's studies out there that show that lack of sleep, lack of rest can be just as debilitating as being drunk or on drugs.
Absolutely. And the fact that
not even hire a driver, like that is just, I don't know, it's just careless.
Right. If he wants to go home, then either A, he should hire a driver.
Right.
That's on call, or B, like she said, get a hotel room and we'll get, either I'll get somebody to watch the kids for the weekend and I'll hang out at the hotel with you. Or I'll come and check on you, whatever. But yeah, to me, them getting a hotel room should have been automatic. His manager, and she shouldn't have had to tell them that.
Right. But at his status, he should have a personal assistant.
I agree. And I'm really kind of surprised that we don't see somebody like that in that capacity.
Just like Arena and those should have a housekeeper. They should have someone to cook. She shouldn't be. And I was looking at her mom today. I was like, her mom is not 100.
She had the cane and.
Yeah, she was limping and she looked like she's got a little Parkinson. I don't mean to imitate it, but I was just noticing how her head was moving real subtly. She looks like she's got a little Parkinson. Why is your mom cooking and taking care of your son? Why don't you have someone to come in?
Yeah, I feel like the house? Yeah, and I feel like I feel like that's how her mom was introduced to us, because I feel like this is me adding my 2 cents to it. I feel like maybe they felt like they had to put a title on it rather than just say, my mama lives with us because her health is bad or we worried about her. Because sometimes, and I went through this with my grandmother, they don't want to admit that they can't anymore. So you got to kind of make them feel good and be like, well, listen, we need somebody to come to the house. And, we got this big old house. We got plenty of space. And we need somebody to help us with Jason. He's getting a little older, yada, 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 yada. You know what I'm saying? And it might have been a situation like that. And that's why she was sort of introduced that way. That don't mean she's not doing stuff. But I'm wondering if it's more of we have to kind of ease into this versus, mama, you can't live by yourself no more. You don't have what you need anymore. Because my grandma, like, we legit, like, it got to the point where my grandmother's doctor was like, you can't go back home.
Yeah.
We tried to get her for years and she wouldn't do it until she hurt her hip, and my grandmother had steps. She had steps to walk up. She had steps to walk up to her house, and then she had steps in her house, and her doctor was like, no, like you can't go back to that, So, hey everybody, what's up, Cookie? Hey Pinky Tiki, what's up, Nubiology? Mwah.
I agree. I just know that the way her mama be looking at her, like, ask me one more thing. Tell me what one more time. Do it again.
Child, when she asked her mama to help her with that crab roll, and she sprayed that damn spray.
I don't know how to cut the onions. I was like, ma'am, don't tell nobody that. Stop telling people you don't know how to cut onions and you don't raise 3 children.
Listen, I absolutely cannot cook. I will never lie to nobody and tell nobody that I am a cook. Now, I won't starve. Clearly,
Who you in charge of
but
feeding though? Who you in charge of feeding? You
well,
got a
that's true
husband?
too.
Huh?
But I know how to cut. I say all that to say I know how to cut an onion though.
She know how to cut an onion too. Listen, I'm gonna get her too, but you go ahead. I'm gonna get her too.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. So but yeah, so I feel like I appreciated Ashley in this moment, and Ashley showed me some boss moves, and she told him, "Listen, I don't know what I would do if something happened to you. Like that ain't how I'm trying to live. I just hope that he means what he says. He said that it was gonna be all vacation next year. Mind you, they filmed this in 2022, so he's talking about 2023. But neither here nor there. I better see Quick and Ashley. If either one of y'all are watching this or somebody show y'all this, I better see all on y'all Instagram in 2023 everywhere. I better see islands and tropical fruit and the Eiffel Tower and land, all sorts of landmarks all over the world. That is what I want to see. Okay.
Hello to everyone in the chat. I see some of my honeybees in there.
Hey,
Yonya.
honeybees.
I like that saying. I used to say I'm gonna outwork, and now I'm gonna out vacation. I was like, I'm trying to beat you. I'm trying to get my vacation
Listen,
subscribers up.
don't
Boo.
meet me there, beat me there.
Okay.
Don't meet me there, beat me
Okay.
there.
I was
I'm with you on
already
that.
Wallace and Buzz when your plane landed. Really be.
Listen, that's why. Listen, I like a good. And now that the world done opened back up, baby, listen, y'all done got spoiled. Y'all done got the pandemic really being. Y'all done got spoiled. But let me tell you, the world is wide open. Really be. Y'all done got spoiled with getting me a whole lot.
Yeah.
But baby, the world is open, and I'm about to be out. And what about?
Yeah. I mean, life is too short, so I can get that, and I agree that these years for his kids, he's gonna look back and wish he had been there for some of it. And I think what we're seeing with Jamie and Arena with their son, who is 21, he may find himself in that place. Well, this is the first time I heard that. When did you decide this? I didn't know that. I'm like, how y'all don't know this stuff? I don't get it.
Right. And I think we're gonna get to that in a second. We're there. That's the next scene. The next scene we see Urena. I can appreciate because, and I feel like I'm using a Miss Honey statement. I feel like it was intentional that the producers and the Tylers let us see Jamie doing his laundry, walking around the house without his cane, being very self-sufficient in that moment. His grandmother asking him to pair her phone to the watch. Like, I feel like all of that was intentional for us to see the son and understand, like he said in his confessional. Shout out to Jason for getting his own confessional and his little suit, honey. And I feel like he said, listen, I can do anything y'all can do. I just got to do it differently. And I was glad for that moment. Hey, Mr. Willie Brown, thank you, babe. But he's telling his mom, listen, I don't want to be a DJ. I don't know where Dad got that from. I don't know what y'all talking about. I'm trying to get in this program that's going to let me go to school, teach me how to do computers. I want to work for Apple. Like, that is what I want to do. I am not understanding where Daddy got this from, and I don't want to be no DJ.
For me, this scene, I like, Granny. I like Granny and Jason. I like to see them together. I felt like it was good energy, and I feel like Arena came in and busted that up, right? And she wanted to talk about this Doors situation. Ultimately, the reason why he's not indoors, which is for Americans with disabilities, teaching them how to be independent, to live independent, to move independently, to work independently, to get jobs, things like that. I feel like the reason why he's not in that program is because she been dragging her butt, which brought me to the conclusion that the Onion, the fact that his room had absolutely positively no personal touch to it at all. I'm like, did y'all just move in this room? Like, he's 21. And I kind of went off a little bit.
I noticed that about that room. Even the furniture didn't look like it matched. That looked like some Renaissance furniture I did notice that. I'm not even going to front. I absolutely noticed that.
And when you see her, she is to the nines, to the T. She is to the T. I mean, I think her foundation could be a little bit better, a little bit smoother.
I don't know who did her makeup in her new confessional with that gold dress. Whoever did your makeup, Urena, do not let them do it again. They fucked it up. I'm sorry. And you're beautiful.
I don't
it ain't personal, but whoever did your makeup,
I don't think Ashley makeup looks that good. I think for what, I don't know if it's how long they tape or whatever, but they're not, it's not great. I mean, they need a little bit more coverage. I especially Urena, she needs a little bit more coverage. I think they can do a lot to unpinch Ashley's face, but that's a different situation. Y'all know how I feel about Ashley. So anywho, I feel it's 36. Okay, girl. So I just didn't understand that.
So that's how I feel about Tiffany down to the Love and Marriage Huntsville. If you think that I believe your ass was born in 1987, I got a bridge in Brooklyn to sell you. She said 87. I said 87. Don't you mean 77?
Let me see your hands and let me see your feet. If your hands are
87,
give me 87.
That's why you can't find your daddy. You got the wrong year. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead, wrong show. Go ahead.
But yeah, I didn't understand why his room didn't have any personal things. Even if you guys thought he loved music, where's the radio? Where's the record player? Like I said, where's the
computer? Like you said, you want to be this big computer person. I didn't see a laptop. I didn't see nothing.
There was nothing on the wall. Just because he's blind doesn't mean he doesn't need decor. He's into like this plain white box. It's like not putting a light bulb in his room because he's blind. What are you, dumb? No.
Right. And I feel like he's not. And again, I feel like he has some vision.
I don't know. Now he does have a walking stick. He does have a walking stick that's specifically designed to pick up sound a certain type of way and vibration a certain type of way. So that's why you see him click, 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 click side to side, because that's kind of how they clear the way. One and two, they pick up a lot from how the sound reverberates, right?
Yeah, so, and I mean, I'm not basing that on any fact that I know, but the reason why I say that is because, like Stevie Wonder can see shapes and things. He's not totally 100%. He can see certain, and I could be wrong. But I don't know.
I wondered that though. I wondered that this episode. I'm like, can he see anything? Or just, I mean, is he just legally blind? I thought them to understood him and say that he's legally blind, but not necessarily totally blind.
Because they keep saying he's because I've never heard them say he's blind. I always hear them say he's visually impaired.
I thought
that might be the same thing. I don't know. But I've never heard them say he is blind. I've always heard them say he is visually impaired.
Well,
and to me, there's a difference, isn't it?
I'm visually impaired right now.
Me too.
Without contacts
I cannot legally drive my car without my glasses. It's on my driver's license.
Or contacts? No, ma'am.
Yeah.
No, ma'am.
If I get pulled over and I don't have my glasses on, that's going to be a problem. Yeah.
Okay, so it may be there. It may be semantics. So there may be some difference there. But I thought I heard her say in her confessional when she did like a little mini breakdown, when she would say, "I have to take care of him." I was like, "Girl, you putting a roof on over his head, and you are putting food in his belly and making sure he's safe, okay, and making sure he gets a level of education." But to me, and I said this in my review, why are you just now getting him in this program? He's 21. He should have been taught how to navigate from what, like 10? What? How old did Ray Charles' mama said? You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody
how old he was
in this world.
But not only that, and again, first of all, excuse my ignorance when I ask this question. Aren't those programs income based or no?
I know in Georgia you can hop in one of those programs depending on what county you live in. Each county has programs. Okay.
Now I agree with you.
If he's on Social Security or what do you call it, Medicaid, that type of thing. They have all types of programs. He should be getting his.
And maybe they had to wait until he was 21, because I know my cousin went through this with her daughter, who is developmentally delayed. That's what we call it now. We don't use the R word, but developmentally delayed. It was that catch-22 of her being a minor. You can't have her declared, like, you have, as long as she's a minor, she's under your care, which means everything as it relates to you falls under your umbrella. So my cousin actually had to wait until her daughter was 18 before she could get her into a lot of programs, because a lot of the programs were income based.
Okay.
And I'm not saying this program is, so maybe they had to wait until he was 21, because some of these and so once he was 21, well, I guess that would have happened at 18 though.
But my whole point is that you're so busy trying to get this kid a job, and you think that's going to take care of him. The things that you should have been doing all along leading up to this program, if it's age based or income based, they're people from the I almost called it American, I forget. It's
American with Disabilities Act.
Them too, but there's also somebody that's just specifically for the blind. There's an organization that's specifically for the blind. Okay, they'll come out. They'll come out and assess your home. They'll come out
it's something industries, isn't it?
I know. I almost called it. Really be. I almost called it. It was right there. But for your son, now he can move around the house, but are you walking him through the store? Like, I just don't. I don't know. It just, and I said this, and I'm prepared to be wrong. But Irena, to me, she and Jamie both, but more specifically Irena, seems very self-involved. They don't seem very involved. I don't know. She seems very self-involved. Like, she's present, but I don't cook. She's present, but I had no idea. She's present, but I didn't turn in this form, so you couldn't get in the program. And then you talk to your daddy, and he said, no, you talk to daddy because he gonna get attitude. I know I want you to talk to daddy. Like, she seems like she pulls up the rear. She's not there to guide and navigate as things, to keep things from happening. She seems like she comes in and says, this is what y'all need to do. Y'all need to talk. Y'all need to get together. You need to call. You need to do that.
Yeah, Sweet Pea says there's a visually impaired employee that works at the hospital with me. She's the best secretary ever. She has different devices. Exactly. Pinky T, they treat him like a baby all those years now. They're tired. Maybe she's just protective. People who are special needs gets mistreated all the time. That is true. Yeah, my cousin.
That's the reason you prepare him. That's the reason you prepare him. If you're protective, that's even more reason for you to prepare him. Why is he 21 and he just now going into getting some help to navigate this world? Come on now. Come on.
Well, I feel like he's gotten something, because like I said, we saw him doing his laundry. We saw him walking around. I don't feel like he's totally,
no, he count the steps. He knows the steps from the bottom step to his chair at the dining room table.
Skills. He has some skills. And he may have skills. And again, I don't know what school. I don't know if he went to a regular public school and just was had the accommodations for his disability, or if he went to a school for people with disabilities. There's two different. Is it the National Federation of the Blind you was thinking about, Miss Honey?
Yes.
There it is. Thank you, Bobo.
Thank you, Bobo.
I got the impression they're too involved in Jason. They think they're constantly trying to baby and control their children.
Well, I said that I think if when you treat your children as though they're tasks, you know what I'm saying, I want to get them up and get them out of school and get them on their way. His dad wants to put him, make sure he's okay, make sure he's well, like, get this off my list. And you're gonna have to, it's never gonna be over. Like, if he got to DJ, just think about if he was DJing at Pulse nightclub.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, just think about if he was there that night DJing. Here's a blind DJ. He's gonna always have to have some type of of assistance in some capacity. Yeah. And so if you're not thinking full scale like that by now at 21, I just don't know. I don't know. It just, and like, again, it's how they film it. I'm sure it's how they cut it. I'm sure that they're putting things up front without context because it gives their storyline some substance. It's just that it don't look right.
Yeah. So she tells him that she's gonna have a family dinner and for him to come over. I mean, for him to tell Daddy. Now this part. Now y'all know I like Urana. I do like Urana and Jamie. But I did not agree with this at all. I felt like that was a conversation that he should have had with his father privately. And if she felt like she needed to be there to be the buffer, that's fine. But I do not feel like that was a conversation that needed to happen in front of the whole family.
I did not like the way she rolled that out.
He didn't want to do it to begin with, and he didn't feel comfortable having the conversation. So now you're going to make him have the conversation in front of the whole family?
I don't like that. I don't like the way she rolled it out. You know, it just kind of put a spotlight right on him, which was the exact thing he didn't want.
He didn't want, yeah. So we'll get to the dinner, and we'll get to dinner in a few minutes. The next scene we saw was the lunch with Winter and Urana. I don't know what Winter wants from these people. You know, she asked you to lunch, and she said, "Hey, I wanted us to go to lunch so that, you know, we can get to know each other outside of the group." And her asking, "Hey, is everything really cool, okay with you and Ashley?" I don't feel like there was a problem with that, and I don't feel like that was an invitation for us to talk about Ashley. I think that was her just trying to make sure you good. Everything cool, you good.
Well, see, her question didn't denote that. Your response would denote how that conversation went, right? Like her asking you, she can pick and fish all she wants to. If you give her nada, oh no, we're straight, we're cool, it's fine. Yeah, no, I'm glad that we were able to talk about it and move on. What else could she have done with that? It's no reason for you to be in confessionals acting like, first of all, you called Ashley down there with all of them to talk about what Ashley did to you when you could have called Ashley yourself.
Right. Right. Yeah.
You did the same thing.
Right. Other than that whole episode, I mean, that conversation for me, I think again was just another. Urana once again is explaining what she meant by infidelity, and she was talking about she was in DMs flirting and letting guys flirt with her, and her husband caught her and he was angry, but then she said she not stupid, you know, she never caught him. I feel like what she was saying was, I never caught him, but I know he was out there doing some shit he didn't need to be doing. He was just too slick for me to catch it. I don't think she's fooled into thinking that her husband didn't do some stuff he didn't need to do.
Why would you have that conversation with this chick? Why?
I don't know.
I would have never had no husband's sex drive is up here, and my sex drive is down here. Okay. All right. At the same time, your girl across the table saying, "Guess what? I'm abstinent." Can you believe it? Is it that unbelievable, girl? Because I am currently abstinent now. I mean, technically it's a dry spell, but let's call it abstinent. Let's do it.
Well, I wouldn't be if I'm okay. So, and I know that this isn't true in all situations, but if I'm talking to someone who tells me that they are currently a pastor and they are not currently with their spouse, they're in the process of a divorce, I would assume they were abstinent. That doesn't mean it's true. And I know that just because somebody's a pastor don't mean they're not having sex. I understand that. But I don't think that's a wild thing to believe. Someone who's going through a divorce from their husband and they are a pastor, I don't think it's a weird leap to say.
I did not know she was a pastor. I thought she was just
a pastor. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Well, really? Yeah. That was the whole thing with her being upset about the whole relationship expert thing, because she was like, I haven't been a relationship expert in like 4 years. Like, I'm a pastor now. I've you know, whatever. But I wouldn't be surprised. Not be hard to
get pastoralship. That must be super easy.
But I just wouldn't be shocked. Like, that's not something that would shock me. Somebody saying that. Piggy Tiki said, I'm with Winter on this. Don't ask me out and ask me about somebody I just got into it with. But I feel like, I mean, I don't know. I just didn't take it that way, because I feel like if y'all were, we're trying to build a group dynamic, you just want to make sure that we good. Like, are we good for real? For real? I don't know. I didn't see it as a big deal.
It was a lead in. They were talking about, they were trying to get to know each other. She was glad she invited her. It was the last conversation that they had. It was a point of contention for her. I mean, there's a myriad of reasons why she brought it up. But again, it doesn't matter if she had evil intentions. Irena, all she had to do was bing, 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 the flag, right? But my bigger issue is that why would you sit here and have this conversation with somebody who's got a bit of a shaky situation going on? Like, you guys don't really know what's really up with Irena. I mean, Monique is vouching for her, and she's definitely vouching for herself over and over again. But still, girl, why would you? And then it was like she said, "Guess what? You won't believe it. I'm abstinent." I was like, "Girl,
right." I just didn't see what the. First of all, I don't even see how that's my business. But I really don't see.
It's not a miracle. Water and wine, water to wine, miracle, right? You being abstinent is not a miracle. And if you're saying that it is, you're definitely not the person that I need to be talking to about my relationship with my husband, who has a high sex drive and I have a low sex drive.
And I think, again, not to get too technical, but I think that goes back to where you are in life. Like, women and men, they cycle. They cycle. So I don't know if they need to go to a sex therapist so much as they probably need to just talk.
I said it in the end of my video, and I think when I share my video out to Twitter, I'm gonna put, I think that the whole cast could use a marriage team builder. You remember team builders from your if you've ever had corporate jobs, we have team builders, and you learn a lot about yourself. You learn different ways to communicate. You learn how you communicate, and it's all through these activities. Just them sitting and communicating. Jamie and Irena, he wants to keep everything in, and she kind of wants to tell people, so maybe she can work it through in her own mind. Definitely Monique and Chris, they could definitely learn a different way of communicating, and team building may be a good option for them.
So that's what Cindy, that's kind of where I was going. I didn't want to necessarily say it out loud, but I didn't want to offend nobody. But that's kind of where I was going with it. Maybe she is going through menopause, and that's a whole nother conversation.
I'm perimenopausal. Okay? I'm perimenopausal. And I promise you, I could light this paper on fire if I hold it here long enough. I mean, it's things that, listen. This ain't your mama's menopause. It's some options.
It's definitely some options.
It's something else going on. I think Jamie ain't as great as he think he is. Who you know don't like that ice cream cone lid? Who you know don't like that little man in the boat tickle? Who you know?
I was shocked when she
either he ain't good at it. He ain't good at it, or she got something going on with her where she don't want it done. Now, them the only two things that's going on. When he was like, I like to get down there, I was like, oh, I don't like your positioning. I don't know. This is not crab board. This is not a crab board.
I don't like your positioning.
You got to get that. You know what I'm saying? You got to. I don't know. I wouldn't have been talking about it with Winston.
I definitely would not have. So the next scene, we're at the dinner. And we kind of already covered some of this, but I just want to reiterate that we see Irena not knowing how to put the crab boil together, child. The family is sitting down. We get to meet the oldest daughter that she had from a previous relationship, so that was cool. Little Jamie's there, Jason is there, and again they have this conversation in front of the whole family, and Jamie gets upset. He gets irritated. And again, when you hear him give the example, give his explanation, it does sound like it's self-serving more than about Jason. Because he said, I want to be able to look up and be like, look, that's my son. He doing something that nobody did before. And I'm like, but that's not about you. If he don't want to DJ, it's not about him. and but it makes me wonder where that even came from.
I didn't like it, and I didn't like the fact that he got indignant. I didn't like the fact that he didn't say, Jason, listen, I'm gonna love you no matter what. I just want you to be okay. I want you to be happy at what you do in this life. And if this is gonna, none of that. Well, that I can't tell you. I don't. Your mama don't. You know what I'm saying? Just remember, I the one said it, and it. I was like, dude, calm down, calm down.
Not the cast need to go to an escape room.
Yeah, it don't take all that. It don't take all that. It does not take all that. You're giving me caveman energy, like what me say go. Me.
And now it's going to bring me back around to little Jamie, and it gives a little insight on maybe where that went left. I don't know.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I don't know. The fact that
you can't take grown people and take them to the water and make them drink. It can't happen. Cannot happen. So if you think that you're going to strong arm these, and I'm so glad Jamie spoke up. I'm glad Jason spoke up, and I'm glad his sister backed him.
Yeah,
it needed to be said.
Yeah, and again, I don't think there's. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that because I was going to go down another rabbit hole. But yeah, I appreciate, but I just feel like that would have been a better private conversation. But I guess they feel like they had to film a scene. And that's the way they wanted to film the scene.
But that was a way for him to end the scene. See, Jamie wants to make sure they keep this facade up. Remember, he doesn't want anyone to talk about things that go on inside the home that may cause embarrassment or questions or further, evaluation. He's directly opposed to that. So why wouldn't you end in this positive way? Like, I just don't know. I don't know. I didn't care for that. I think it's a way to do this reality TV show thing. It's a way to do it. I think Candy does it really best, where although she's transparent, she kind of produces her own situation.
Yeah. She does. Oh, Candy, listen. Candy, I don't think people give Candy enough credit. I think people don't really understand the puppet master that Candy Burris is. She absolutely produces her own storylines. Mm-hmm. She controls all of the narratives. Even with what was happening with Old Lady Gang, the fact that she took what was happening with the restaurant and turned it into the storyline. Oh, so we've been getting these low ratings. Oh, there've been a lot of complaints. Oh, the health department that had to come in and check us. Okay, watch me. Because that wasn't like the original storyline was, it was about the show, but it was supposed to be about how great everything was and this wonderful restaurant and family atmosphere they've created. Oh, well, let me take these lemons and turn them into lemonade real quick. Let me show you how that works out. I just don't think people give her enough credit for how she is the spin doctor of her own story. And you're absolutely correct. And I feel like that's what Monique is doing here. We're about to get to Monique in a minute, and I'm gonna let you have the floor first because I know you be giving me a different insight on Miss Monique, and you're gonna have to help me out with this scene.
I agree with Cameron though.
They act like they're all afraid of him. I was actually getting ready to read that comment. It does seem like they're afraid to talk to him.
Oh. And he shows us why every time.
Yeah. Yep. Right, that's true too, Cindy. And Todd comes from that TV. Todd has the insight as well. And yeah, I agree.
They in this thing together. It's lucrative. Them working as a unit is lucrative. It's very well done. It's very well done. And she takes care of those people who keep her insulated, who go along with her production.
Just as a sidebar, and we're gonna because we're almost done. But just as a sidebar, Candy, not only does Candy take care of her people, I don't know if y'all been, because I follow Brian from the Soul Food Roll, the Soul Roll. Did you watch Candy in the Game?
I watched a little bit of it.
So Brian, the guy who was the bartender, light skin with a toupee. So he has his soul food, his egg roll, and he was trying to get his business started. And at the end of the show, Todd, he signed a deal with Todd. Todd is going to put him in his own store. He was trying to get a food truck, and he wanted them to invest. And Todd was like, "Listen, I just bought a whole strip mall that I'm trying to fill up. I can give you a brick and mortar."
Oh, I love Southwest egg rolls.
And now, if you notice, I mean, for those of you who are following it, now if you notice, he's selling his egg rolls at the Old Lady Gang Friday Night Live shows. He's got his own Instagram just for the soul rolls, and it's all promo. If you go to his Instagram, it is all promo. It is all promo. I said, that's candy. That's candy. like because, and again, she takes care of his people. Now this guy is creating a whole business,
right?
But anyway.
But so I know you want to move on, but it just goes back to the point where Jamie is the king of party throwing. I mean, when you throw parties, when you're a promoter, there are so many different people, personality, businesses, walks of life, nationalities, ethnic backgrounds, everything that you have to navigate. How is it that you struggle with the simplest communication with your children? It's odd to me.
But I think somebody, I don't know who said it a little while ago, said that it's that old school black father mentality. It's that
my way or the highway. You don't like it, you can hit the door.
Yeah. So then we have dinner with Quick, Ashley, the double date, child. Quick, Ashley, Urena, and Jamie. This whole situation was cringy. Urena is telling these two people, who one woman had already told you're not her friend, and her husband, about your sex life with your husband in front of your husband, blindsiding him, because the look on his face tells me he ain't know that was coming. Either that or he a good ass actor, one of the two, because he was like, what the? And you are literally sitting here telling these people how you and your husband ain't getting it in, how he don't be coming up on you no more, and how y'all need to see a sex therapist because y'all sex drives are different. And he is like, what?
Xavier, you crazy.
Xavier is crazy, child. Yeah. So that whole scene was real cringeworthy to me.
She knows it though. She knew that she was breaking the fourth wall, whatever that looks like in their relationship, because when she's talking to others, she's looking at him. So, like I said, it's like double dutch. The ropes are going. At some point, she had to jump in, and this is what she's jumping in with, right? I noticed how fit and how trim and stuff she is, how polished she is, like clothing wise. I don't know. I just feel like Urena is self-involved. I think she's self-involved. I think she is extremely self-involved. He doesn't seem like they had this conversation beforehand.
That's what I'm saying. Like it at all. There's certain things I'm never going to do to I don't care what kind of TV show we making. There's certain things I'm just never doing to my spouse. And that's definitely, I'm never exposing our private, certainly our physical relationship to outside people on camera without us having the conversation.
Bless you. Bless you.
Excuse me. Thank you. Without us having the conversation and him being cool with it. It's one thing if we already talked about, like, all right, like again, using Candy and Todd as an example. You think Todd is not 100% in with all the conversations that Candy be having about their sex life? Child, bye. It is, they know exactly what they're saying at all times. And so if it were a situation like that where they were like, where Jamie was in on it, then I'd be like, oh, okay, but he's clearly not in on this.
And you could tell he kind of forgets sometimes that the camera is there, because he was about to really talk to DJ Quick about how he liked to go downtown Julie Brown, and
he was about to get into it.
And it was like somebody was like, ooh, 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 come on,
he was really about to let get a play-by-play.
He's not in on it. He's not in. He knows that they're filming, but he's not in on it all the way. He's just not. And I think that is probably going to be an issue for her, because remember, whatever you got to say about him, he's probably got some stuff he could say about you. Not that he would dog her, but don't act like, you know what I'm saying, the sun shine on you only, because I could, you know, yeah, they was in your DMs and y'all was talking about, you know, this, that, and the third. Y'all wasn't just, you know, flirting lightly. It was this, that, and that. You know what I'm saying? Like, she needs to really be careful with that. And she needs to be respectful, because you don't want to leave your relationship in ashes behind this show. You definitely don't want it to be the confluckery that Love and Marriage Huntsville is. They got like 25,000 people on that show, and they're all a trip.
Girl, yeah, you definitely don't want to open up that can of worms. I know that for me, that, like I said, for me, that scene, I just feel like there's certain things that we're not gonna put out there without us being on board with putting it out there. And I don't know if, like you said, Urena is just grasping for the storyline, or if she really is using this as an opportunity to let her husband know, I'm gonna need you to step it up.
I think, you know, this is why a therapist would be helpful, though. Those are the people that you talk to about it. And I definitely think, you know, making sure everybody is physically, you know, healthy and sound. She was, because guess what she kept saying? She kept saying, you know, they show you different positions and how to
right. Because I'm like, that is not what a sex therapist does. Like, that is not.
I said they got them, but they're a different kind. And
that's what I was gonna say. I'm not saying that they don't have those conversations, but you act like that's the only thing. Because she even said there might be some new stuff out there. No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, but she do say he liked to come up behind her and stick it in her. I was like, oh, like an old caveman. Just get over here. You know, which has its place, but still, give me some warning. Saying, let me know you're coming. I agree. He needs to warm the car up first, especially if it's been a cold night. Warm the car up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Let the engine run. Let the oil circulate. Don't just. But I also think if you want foreplay, you give foreplay. You like your breast kiss his breast. You like your cheeks grab his cheeks. You like a little rub down before the pound.
After 26 years. Y'all, I mean, again, I understand that sometimes you gotta jumpstart the romance, but child.
Something going on, girl. His balls stink, his breath stink, or he ain't got no game. He ain't got no sex game. One of them three things is going on.
Something. Now we get to the last scene, and Miss Honey, you are the Monique whisperer, so I'm gonna set the scene, and then I'm gonna let you have the floor, because you are the Monique whisperer. And let me be clear, I like Monique. Now, me and Monique had an up and down relationship on Potomac, but we left off on a good note. So I carried that good note over here. I like Monique, but first of all, I get it that y'all's trip overlapped with the filming of the show, and so they were probably desperate to get scenes from y'all because y'all was gone for probably 2 weeks. And they needed these scenes. But did they need the scenes the day you got back? Chris is literally falling asleep while he's standing up. While he was waiting for the luggage to come up on that elevator, Chris was literally falling asleep. I feel like, and listen, as somebody who took a trip to Africa and it was a whirlwind, because you want to do everything, you literally don't have time to let the time difference really even itself out. I mean, literally got off the plane and we would here. We did a safari. We flew to another part of we did a lot of what Monique and Chris did. I'm sure on a budget, but you know, you're home and you're exhausted. So that's my first issue. My first issue is, and I put that on both of them. Monique, you're an EP. You can say, listen, I'm gonna need y'all to give us 24 hours. We need 24 hours to just get out. Like, let us and we can even recreate the scene. Like we can pretend like we just got back and we're unpacking. but we are mentally and physically exhausted, and we really need a minute. That's number one. Right. Number two, I feel like in this scene, Monique was being a typical woman. And what I mean by that is you need him to communicate the way you need him to communicate. And the way he's communicating isn't good enough. So instead of y'all figuring out the middle, okay, you said this and I said that, no matter what, I just felt like she was beating up on him. I'm sorry. That's how I felt. Now, I looked at another review earlier today, and they felt the total opposite. So I was like, you know what? I'm glad Miss Honey's coming on. I haven't had a chance to look at your review, so whatever you say is fresh to me. But please tell me, give me your opinion on that scene, and I'm going to shut up now.
I definitely think they were both exhausted. It was a terrible time to have them there, right? At the same time, Monique is smart. She's a very smart girl. I'm super proud of how well she's done, just in her personal businesses, as well as, you know, what she's built with her podcast and all that stuff, right? She's a smart girl. It was no reason. Monique need to practice some shut mouth grace. One, I don't know if you know what that is. You know this. I'm in the South, deep South. We call it shut mouth grace. You need to know when to shut up. You don't have to have an opinion on everything, right? It don't need to be addressed. And maybe like Arena, in an effort to have a fruitful storyline, you're putting 20 on 10 with this. Now, for you to look this man in his face, I could have screamed. I wanted to go through that and say, no, Monique, how dare you? When she told him, let me see it. She said, if it's not what I'm expecting, if your answer is not what I'm expecting, then your intentions mean nothing. What the duck? What the duck? And by duck, you know what I mean.
And when she said that, if I were Chris, I understand why Chris was done at that. What more? You're telling me if I am sincerely having this conversation with you, if it's not what you want it to be, then I'm still wrong.
It was Freudian. If she had to go back and do it again, she would make it more politically correct, but it came down from inside of her. That's how she feel. If I don't like it, the way you said it, the way you did it, it don't mean nothing. It don't mean nothing. How? That's so invalidating. That is it's condemnation. You might as well tell him, if I don't co-sign on it, if I don't give it a gold star,
then it's not important.
It's not important. Why are you saying it? You know, at the same time, going forward, he could be just as passive aggressive as her. When she decided she was going to shut down and she wasn't going to talk about it no more, it wasn't even that serious for you not to talk to your husband no more. You know what I'm saying? That could have been an ongoing conversation. You could have moved on to something else and double back on that situation. It was no reason for you to just go, except that they probably were tired. But my whole issue is he can be just as passive aggressive as you if he was smart in that way, but he's not. He's not cunning like that. And he could say, well, you tell me what it is you want to hear me say, and I'll say it.
And again, and this is the part that, because I was listening to something earlier and people were like, and why did he change the subject and start talking about her mother? I would have shut down too. First of all, she shut down before he changed the subject.
Right.
He changed the subject because she had shut down. And I think he thought, oh, she's done with this. And understand, when they're filming these scenes,
he was trying to break the awkward silence.
Well, not only that, but there's an agenda. I will bet you, and I'm not saying bet you per se, but I bet $5 that some point in this season, we're going to hear something as it relates to Monique's mother, because that is another part of the conversation they were supposed to have. He pivoted to that because he was like, oh, okay, well, you done with this? Cool. Now we're supposed to talk about your mama now, because he said, how's your mom doing? It sounds like maybe something's going on with Monique's, because he said that she's settling in. So did Monique move? Did Monique, is her, you know what I'm saying? So it sounds like that was part of what they were supposed to talk about. And I feel like that's when he pivoted to that. And that's when he said, "Oh, you done?" She said, "Yeah, I'm done." And he was like, "Oh, all right, well, we done." Like, because that's what we were supposed to talk about in this scene. So she's not going to discuss anything else that we're supposed to talk about in this scene. We done the scene, right? Because again, Chris is tired and he's ready to fucking go to sleep.
But he can't get an inch. He can't get an inch. If he's vulnerable, it's judged. If he's transparent, it's judged. When he said, I kind of feel like I'm still in Africa. When she said that, he knew that she said that, but he also felt that way too.
And right, and she was like, "You stole that from me. You took it from me." I mean, I put it on my and here's the thing, and I had to have this conversation.
Y'all married.
And that's what I'm saying. I had to have this conversation with my mom because my parents are getting older, and there are things that my father does that irritates my mom, and vice versa. And like I had to tell my mom, I said, "Does it?" Because she'll say, "My father's getting older, and his memory is just, he might remember something happened on a Wednesday, and it really happened on a Sunday." And my mama will know that it happened on a Sunday, and my father will start off the story and say, "Last Wednesday, me and your mama," and she'll say, "It wasn't Wednesday, it was Sunday." And I was like, "Mom, does it matter? That is not what this story is about." And so my mother had to get better about that. And again, I think part of that is her fear that he is losing his memory, not that she's trying to be nitpicky. But I had to say to her, we can't nitpick on that. Because it doesn't matter whether it happened on Sunday or Tuesday. That's not what this story is about. The story is about the man at the casino who lost his hat. Like, I don't know, but
that's what I mean by being a quantifier. You don't have to go and pick every little bitty thing apart. My dad has dementia, so I don't think my mom has really still fully gotten into the groove. And it's been a few years. She still like, "Don't you remember? Don't you remember? Right. No, that didn't happen. No, why are you chewing with your mouth open? Well, you already said that. You already said." I'm just like, "Mom, just let him talk. Just let him talk."
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like that was the moment with Chris. Let Chris, because again, two people can feel the same way about something. So maybe, yes, you said it and maybe he got it from you, but that's how he feels too. So it's okay for him to say, "Listen, this is how I feel too. I feel like a part of me is still in Africa." Listen, I mean, I keep referencing my trip to Africa. Me and my cousin talk about it all the time, and we have very shared feelings about, like, "Oh my gosh, I can't wait to go back. Oh my gosh, I was just getting ready to say the same thing." Like, we say that. It's okay. And I feel like, Monique, that need to be right, that need to be acknowledged. Because part of it is the need to be acknowledged. If Chris had said, well, like Monique said, or like my wife said, "I feel like a part of me is still in Africa," she wouldn't have said nothing. But the fact that he said it and did not acknowledge that she had said it, it was an issue. And I'm like, Monique, let it go. You are making an argument out of something that's not, because that's not even what it was about. That wasn't important.
I said the same thing last week. I said, I don't know, and I'm Team Monique. I think it may be how they're filming them. It may be, but ma'am, how they're filming you, you never give him a compliment. How they're filming you, you never give him attaboys or accolades, kudos. How they're filming you, it comes across that everything he says and does rubs you the wrong way. It's not good enough. When he talks in that confessional, he basically confirms that by saying, "I just don't know. Is she tired of me? I just don't know how I can be good enough, how I can say it where she understands." When he's told that producer, "I've had just about enough of this BS," I was like, "Girl, let me tell you something." I said it today in my review. I said, "Baby, ain't nothing out there." Now, I don't know if you think you're going to leave that situation and go and find you a emotionally intelligent, in touch, well-tuned, well-rounded man. But I tell you, you can cash your line all you want to. You'll come up with a kitchen sink or 57 Chevy before you come up with a decent man. It's hard out here for a pimp.
You better say it again for the bag.
You best till the soil you own. You best see if you can work this thing out with your man. It's not worth it. It's not worth it.
Like I said in I think I said it in the first panel, Monique, do not executive produce your way into a divorce.
Yeah. You better say it, really.
I'm sorry, and and like I said, I like Monique. I like Monique, and I like Monique and Chris together, and I know they love each other. This ain't about whether they love each other. It's a whole lot of divorced couples that still love each other. It ain't got nothing to do with love.
Oh, you said
I'm reading the comments as y'all. I'm reading the comments, so I'm reading what y'all are saying. I'm just putting them up on the screen to let y'all know that I am reading them. I just don't want to interrupt the flow of the conversation because I wanted Miss Honey to have, because I wanted to hear what Miss Honey had to say, and I understand where you're coming from, CC Freak. Because it's not about whether I've been in a long-term relationship with anybody else. We know that there are growing pains. We know that there are ups and downs, but it's how you deal with the growing pains. It's how you deal with the ups and downs is going to determine where you come out on the other side of it. Because I just said, there's a whole lot of married couples that love each other, but they're getting divorced.
Listen, I understand what CC is saying too. But at the same time, to your point, y'all been together long enough to know that this right here, how y'all going about this right here, this is not productive at all. And I'm gonna tell you something. As a woman, it's not right, it's not fair. We should be able to voice our opinions and say what we have to say and be honest about what it is that we need. But we also know that we have to navigate those waters wisely. If the man is the head, you are the neck. Okay, if you got something you want him to do, you got to find a way to get that done. And it's not gonna always be by no, put it over there. No, I told you not to put it there. No. The moment she said, I said that's mine, you took that from me, it said volumes. Said volumes. When she said, what you say is not what I expected, then it's the wrong thing. It said volumes. That has nothing to do with anything. If your point is true, CC, then they've been together long enough for her to know that's not right. That wasn't right. You shouldn't have done that, girl. You shouldn't have told him that if what he says don't meet up to your expectations, then it's the wrong thing and it don't mean nothing. You should never have said that.
And I'm gonna say
forget it. He will never forget that. I promise you he won't.
And let me say this too. And this is where I'm gonna leave it. We're gonna get ready to get out of here. But this is what I'm gonna say too. Yesterday, one of the people I hung out with yesterday, married couple, they have a 4-year-old. They traveled even before they had their baby. They were the couple that I had to call and be like, where are y'all now? And I mean, they literally could have been in the Philippines, they could have been in London, they could have been in Paris. And even since they've had their daughter got a passport. Okay, they traveled. That is what they do. But literally, we went to the museum yesterday, and we hung out a little bit yesterday. And what she said to me was, me and him need a trip without her, because she said, you saw what today was like. We had a good time, but there's no romance, there's no alone time. Like even the hotel room, they're sharing a hotel room with a 4-year-old, right? And so, for a 5-year-old, their daughter's 5. And so Monique is asking Chris, did you get an epiphany? Was there any sort of aha moment? Was there an aha moment? Not with 3 kids running around, not with us having to entertain and keep 3 kids occupied. And like the youngest is what? Their baby is what, 4?
Oh, I mean, so no, Monique, too. I did. It's so gorgeous.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And that girl, have you seen her Instagram, baby? She be giving it to you, honey. She be giving you looks. But no, like at the end of the day, you need to go get you a nanny, get your mama, his mama, somebody to keep them kids for a week.
That's do it during the school year. Have time for romance. I mean, you took 3 children.
Right. What did you expect? Like, where did y'all think y'all was gonna find that romance?
This is what I don't understand. You wanted him to have an aha moment. You had to go all the way to Africa looking for an aha moment. But you expect him to come up with an aha moment right here. Girl, you got this. You need some shut mouth grace. You need to spend a season just being quiet and saying, all right, baby. Okay, baby. You need a season of that just to get that routine going. Right now, you too quick with the and if he want to say more, he's afraid to.
Yeah. So we're gonna leave it there, child. We're gonna leave it there. Thank you, Miss Honey, as always. I got this tickle in my throat. Thank you, everybody in the chat. Y'all know.
Ooh.
Y'all know over here. We agree, we disagree, but it's all love, and we do it respectfully. Oh, I rhyme. So I appreciate y'all. They needed exactly. They needed a vacation alone. I really agree with that. You know, or even while they were there,
I'm telling you, a marriage team builder is the way to go. A marriage team builder, because you have to communicate to solve the issues. Oh no, we got to let you go, girl. The devil trying to get your larynx. Why he always trying to come for your throat?
I don't know, honey. I was outside earlier. I don't know if it's pollen. You see, I'm about to take some a pill because now I'm getting a headache, child.
You might need to.
That might be the breakfast mimosa. That might be the brunch mimosas catching up with me. Hold on a quick second, Miss Honey. Hold the foot down.
Yeah, I think they need a team builder. I know it sounds corny, but once you have to figure out how to get out I don't know. I don't think a panic room is it, because I lost it in a panic room. I went off on everybody in the panic room, and I was about to kick that door down because I was feeling claustrophobic. But that's not the point. The point is, a team builder, when you got to get over the wall, you got to figure out how to get over the wall. You got to figure out how to resolve stuff. It's going to tell a lot about you. It's going to force you to this place where you have to communicate, especially if you want to win. I mean, it could exacerbate the situation depending on what type of team builder it is, but I think they could all benefit from it, including Quicksilver and Ashley, who feel like they got all their ducks in a row. But something tells me they do not. I'm just saying. They need a role with, CC Freak. Come through with the wisdom. A role reversal would be good. Chris cutting her off every other word. Oh, baby, she would lose it. Baby, she would lose.
That, you know what? That would be a good exercise. Oh yeah, Monique.
Yeah, this what I'm talking about, CC. This what I'm talking about. She needs to see it in real time, because that's the kind of learner that she is.
I agree.
So,
all right, y'all,
I enjoyed you guys.
Thank you again, Miss Honey. I appreciate you being here.
Thank you for having me.
I know your Love and Marriage DC review popped up. Are you reviewing P-Valley?
Yes.
Okay, so
I'm disappointed in myself for this week. I don't know. I couldn't connect with it. I liked it, but I couldn't connect with it. So next week, I think it's going to be a lot better. So you guys,
it's a catch up. It's a catch up. You know, they've been gone for 2 years. They had to incorporate the pandemic, which I think they did a good job of incorporating the pandemic.
You can tell they were in the throes of it.
Yeah. The episode, it was slow. For me, for P-Valley, it was a slow episode. But I think it was a needed, we got to lay some foundation here episode, you know.
Yeah, and I agree with Xavier, who said that he thought Love and Marriage DC was a little darkly lit. I agree with that, Sephia. And I think P-Valley was a little darkly lit, too. I think they were hiding a lot of stuff. You know what I'm saying?
And they definitely don't have the same makeup
production.
Artist.
Yeah. So
yeah, it's definitely a different production team. There's clearly a different production team.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. Let me go. I love y'all. And I'll talk to y'all later. Peace. Thank you,